Today we will continue with the chapter on accounts of holding companies. In the previous video we have seen the basics of the holding companies. What is the concept of holding company? We saw the concept of subsidiary company. Then we saw the concept of wholly owned and partly owned subsidiary. We also saw the concept of date of acquisition, pre-acquisition period, post-acquisition period, the pre-acquisition profits and reserves, post-acquisition profits and reserves, and the share of holding company and the share of minority, how to calculate that. And we did a question on understanding how to know about the different concepts from the question about the date of acquisition, pre-acquisition period, post-acquisition period, pre-acquisition profits, post-acquisition profits, again the share of holding and minority. Now, given that you know all these things, we can see what are the basic steps which are involved when you come up with the consolidated balance sheet. In my previous video, I have told you that the main aim of this chapter is to prepare and come up with the consolidated balance sheet of the two companies, that is the holding and the subsidiary. And to do that, we will be following the following steps. The very first step tells you that you are going to eliminate the investment in subsidiary and the share of holding of equity shares in the subsidiary. I repeat, the first step is to eliminate the investment which holding has done in the subsidiary, investment in subsidiary, and to eliminate H ka share of equity in the subsidiary. Secondly, we will calculate the pre-acquisition and the post-acquisition profits and reserves and the share of holding and the minority in the same. Then we can calculate about the minority interest. Then you can calculate the goodwill and the capital reserve on consolidation. Then we will calculate the closing balance of consolidated P&L account, which will be taken to the consolidated balance sheet, and in a similar way we will be calculating the closing balance of the general reserve, which will be taken to the consolidated balance sheet. And in the last, we will consolidate the balance sheet after eliminating the intercompany owings and unrealized profits on the intercompany transactions. So you can just pause the video and just write these steps, and these steps can be followed in different ways. You can just calculate maybe goodwill first and minority interest later, and so on. So there are no hard and fast sequencing about it. Now, to start with, I will go back to the concept of the wholly owned and the partly owned subsidiary. We by now know that what is a holding company, which is having a wholly owned subsidiary and partly owned subsidiary. If the holding is having 100% shares in the subsidiary, it is called the wholly owned subsidiary. And if the holding is only having majority, not full 100%, it is called the partly owned subsidiary. Now first we will do the question on wholly owned subsidiary and try to do the first step, that is eliminating the investment done by the holding in the subsidiary. So let's see a question. Let's see this question. It says you're given a balance sheet of H&S Limited as on 31st March 2011. You're given share capital, shares of 10 each fully paid are given, This is the amount for holding, and then you are given the amount for subsidiary. So the two balance sheets are given. Both the shares are fully paid and both the shares face value is 10 rupees. We are given current liabilities, trade payables and the reserves. There are no reserves given for the subsidiary. On the asset side, you have investments. In the holdings balance sheet, the investments are shown and there is an information given in the brackets that 100% shares of S Limited. And the costing is 5 lakhs. You can see that this 5 lakhs is highlighted in the holdings balance sheet as an investment, and this 5 lakhs is highlighted in the subsidiaries balance sheet as share capital. Under the non-current assets, under the current assets, the sundry assets are given for both the organizations H and S, and you are asked to prepare a consolidated balance sheet as on 31st March 2011. Now, in order to consolidate, you're just supposed to start item wise as you do for preparing any normal balance sheet, and start adding the amounts given in different headings for the subsidiary into the consolidated balance sheet item wise. Let's see how we'll do it. So you have equity and liabilities. Under the equity and liability, you have the shareholders funds. Now the first thing is given is share capital. Let's see how share capital is added or written in a consolidated balance sheet. So in the notes to accounts, you can see you are given share capital issued, subscribed and fully paid. 2 lakh shares of 10 each fully paid. Whose capital is this? Question arises, whose capital is this? Let's see it in the question. In the question you are given 20 lakhs, that is 2 lakh. Face value is 10. So 2 lakh shares of 10 each under the column of the balance sheet for H. The balance sheet of S shows the share capital of 5 lakhs. We have not added, this is the first point to understand, that when you reflect share capital in the consolidated balance sheet, you just take the share capital of the holding. I am over here talking about a wholly owned subsidiary. You will just add up the capital. You will not add up the capital of the subsidiary. You will just reflect the capital of the holding. So only holding shares are taken into consideration over here. That is to the extent of 2 lakh shares of 10 each fully paid, and the amount is 20 lakhs. So 20 lakhs will get reflected over here. 5 lakhs is not included. 5 lakh of equity shares of the subsidiary is not included. We'll see why. Now, the second thing is reserves and surpluses. In the reserves and surpluses, you are given reserves for only the holding. No reserve is given over here under the subsidiaries balance sheet. So you will just simply say 6 lakhs reserves. Under the reserves category, this 6 lakhs is only for holding. There are no reserves given for the subsidiary. So you just simply reflect that. So 6 lakhs and the total shareholders funds becomes 26 lakhs. Let's see the liabilities. Trade payables are there, and the trade payables over here in the question given to you includes 1.4 lakh for holding and 80,000 for subsidiary. So you will just simply add. The notes to account say trade payables, holding 1.4, subsidiary. To this you just simply add. This is what I want to say, that start picking up each heading and just start with the balance given for H. To that add the balance given for S, that is the subsidiary, and that becomes your consolidated version of that particular heading. So this is 1.4 plus 80,000, 2,20,000. Then you have under the assets, this becomes 2,20,000, and you total up 26 plus 2.2, that is 28.2. The assets includes non-current assets, fixed assets. In the fixed assets, you are given the tangible assets, which are okay. What about the investments? The first point was telling you that investments will be eliminated. We will just shortly see that what we are going to do with that. Investments are not going to be included over here. We are just going to include the tangible assets, that is the sundry assets assumed as tangible assets. Over here it is given current or non-current assets, sundry assets, and you're just reflecting that is you're just adding 22.4 lakhs plus 5.8 lakhs. 22.4 lakhs plus 5.8 lakhs. So you take the balance of H and to that add the balance of the sundry assets of 5.8 of S, and that becomes your total assets, which will get reflected over here. So what you have done is you have eliminated the share capital of the subsidiary on the equity and liability side, and you have eliminated the investments in the holding reflected in the holding company on the asset side. Now over here, that is the holding, will be passing this entry. This says when the holding company did the investment, the entry done by holding company would have been investment in S to bank. When it got the share capital of S, then it must have done this entry. And that is why you can see this account in the balance sheet on the asset side. Now over here, what you will do is you want to eliminate this account. You have to eliminate this account because you cannot invest in your own shares. That is H and S, are now going to be treated as one and the same because we are consolidating the two balance sheets. So the shares, you cannot invest in your own shares. So share capital of subsidiary on one side and the investments of in S in the H balance sheet on the other side, both of them have to be deleted or they have to be eliminated. Now you did this entry, you debited the investment in S account. Now to eliminate, you will credit it over here so that this gets eliminated, and you will debit what? You will debit the assets and the trade payables. This is the net thing which you are getting when you invested. So you will bring in all the assets and you will bring in all the liabilities instead of that share capital, right? So you have total of 5,80,000 of your assets, and your liabilities were 80,000, and you invested 5 lakhs in the investments. So this is how investment in S Limited and the share capital of subsidiary company gets eliminated by bringing in these subsidiaries assets and liabilities into the holding and then consolidate. So I hope with this is clear. What happens when you are dealing with a wholly owned subsidiary. Now if you are not dealing with a wholly owned subsidiary, I told you that you are going to deal with minority. That is, there would be some other people involved, that is other than you, whom we call as the minority. Let's see the question on that. Similar kind of question is there. Share capital is 20 lakhs, 5 lakhs, reserve 6 lakhs with nil balance in subsidiary, Trade payables is 1.4 and 80. Now over here, you instead of having 100% shares, you are having a 60% share, something more than 50% majority. That is why you are holding. But 40% of the shares are with somebody else other than you. And all of those other people we are calling as minority. So 40% of the shares are in the hands of the minority. And we will have to reflect this in the consolidated balance sheet. So if, now this question is on partly owned subsidiary, similar situation but with a partly owned subsidiary. So you have investments which you want to eliminate to the extent of what you have invested, and you have other all things which needs to be added to the consolidated balance sheet. So let's see quickly. We have share capital. You have 20 lakhs. You have to eliminate the whole share capital. Now, in the previous case, the whole share capital was in the hands of the holding. But over here, this share capital is divided into two parts. One that belongs to the holding and others which belongs to the minority. So out of this is at cost. So out of this 60%, 3 lakhs or 30,000 shares or 3 lakh is withholding, and 2 lakhs belongs to minority. Now, we will not be showing the share capital of the subsidiary as I have told you in the previous case. Over here also we will not be showing we have to eliminate the share capital. We will not be showing the share capital of the subsidiary. Instead of that, this 3 lakh, to the extent of this 3 lakh, we will bring in all the assets and liabilities. And to the extent of this 2 lakh, we will be showing the minority interest. Let's see how. You have share capital, same. So you just reflect the share capital of the holding. You're not going to show anything which is given under the heading of share capital under the subsidiary. Reserves and surpluses, nothing is given for the subsidiary, so you just reflect the same way, 6 lakhs for the holding. So this becomes 26 lakhs. Now minority interest over here is shown, and this is nothing but shares which belong to the minority, and it is only consisting of shares over here because things in this question are simplified. Otherwise, whatever claims minority have on any of these things will be reflected under the heading of minority interest. Over here the claim is only to the extent of the shares. So this 2 lakhs which I told you, which I have divided over here, will get reflected under the minority interest. And so you have minority interest, and then you have you can see the notes to accounts over here. You have 2 lakh shares of 10 each fully paid. Then you have reserves, and in the minority interest you have 5 lakhs into 40 by 100, which is the 40%. This being 60% given to you in the question, the minority interest becomes 1 minus 0.6, that is 40%. So 40% of 5 lakhs is the share capital which is reflected under the heading minority interest. So this becomes 2 lakhs. So 2 lakhs is getting reflected in the minority interest. Minority interest heading will be reflected separately as a separate item in the consolidated balance sheet. Now let's see the trade payables. It is the same, 1.4 plus 80. You pick up the balance of H, to that add the balance of S. You get the 2.2 total. 2.2 is getting reflected over here. And then in the non-current assets, again similar kind of a thing is there. You eliminate 3 lakhs. To that extent you bring in all the assets and liabilities, and the rest, that is over here 24.4. See, over here the assets have been changed. In the previous question, the assets balance was something different. It was 22.4 because this was 5, the total being same. And over here the question has changed that. Over here you have 24.4 because only 3 lakhs is there with the holding. So over here you will similarly just add the assets. The assets are 24.4 plus 5.8. So you have added 24.4 plus 5.8. That becomes 30.2 lakhs. So 30.2 lakhs is the assets, and the total is the total of the two sides of the balance sheet is 30.2. So I hope this is clear to you. So we have seen in this video that what is the concept of elimination. So we have over here seen the very first step involved, that is eliminating the investment in the subsidiary which the holding have done. Eliminating this investments, you have to eliminate the investments in the consolidated balance sheet because this investment and this share capital is same. You have invested in this, so these are contra items, so this needs to be eliminated. So you have eliminated the investment in subsidiaries, and the contra item is the share of H in the equity of the subsidiary. Share of H in the equity of the subsidiary. And this I have shown both for the concept of wholly owned subsidiary, where the share capital and the investment were exactly the same because they were 100% shares with the holding. And the second is, I have also shown the same thing, how it will be treated when the question is that of partly owned subsidiary. Partly, the moment you see the partly owned subsidiary question, there would automatically be minority interest involved. And so we have seen how you are going to calculate the minority interest as well. This introduces you the concept of minority interest, which I was supposed to show you in the third step, but this is not the only calculation which will be done in the minority. In the minority interest calculation, this is one of the points, one of the issues which will be dealt with, that belongs to the share capital that belongs to the minority. In addition to this, they have certain other claims also which will be added over here. Or if they are supposed to bear with certain losses, they are going to be subtracted over here, whatever. So this is a longer calculation. Over here I have just started with the calculation and just introduced the concept of minority interest over here itself. Thank you.